Okay, so let's get started. Thank you everyone for coming to this session. It will be about Supermind book, Supermind 1. And we will speak today how to work with this book, how to work with students who are absolutely new and who have no previous experience of learning English. Okay, and here I've got 6 problems that teachers usually have when they start working with Supermind 1. And I want to discuss each in turn. So let's look at the first one. It is about Russian at the lesson. And now I want you to think, are we allowed to use Russian at the lesson, or maybe we're not? To what extent we can use it? So I suggest going to breakout rooms, and to discuss this. Let's have like 5 maybe breakout rooms. And let's have 5 minutes to discuss this question. So is it okay? So what do we discuss?
Russian at the lesson.
Yes. Is it okay to use it, and so on? Okay, let's go.
Ian, hello. Sorry.
Hello, Nadja. Nadja, we are discussing Russian at the lesson.
Okay, thank you. I'm just a listener for some seconds. I've got some problems with Zoom today. It keeps kicking me out.
We have a lot of listeners today. Okay, so I hope everyone is back. So what are your ideas? Can we use Russian in the lesson? Oh, no.
Can I start, please? I just haven't finished my thought in a previous session. So we spoke about situations when a student does not understand an instruction completely. So what I do is that I don't know, for example, open your students' books at page 5. So it's, I display it on the TV, I open my student book. So if it doesn't work, I just come to a student. So I open his book, I point to the page and I say, open your book. So anyway, if you gestures, miming, or even you can physically help student to get what you mean and still skip speaking Russian. So it helps usually.
Yeah, it helps. But what about Russian? Do you speak Russian in your lessons?
As I have said, it usually belongs more to some, you know, bad discipline cases. When I need to stop a student that he probably pretends not to understand English, but yeah, sometimes that's the only way to, you know, tell a student that it's going to end bad for him.
Okay, thank you. But we need to keep in mind that we are speaking only about the first grade today. Yes.
I use sometimes Russian because while you're trying to explain to one person in English with gestures, with pictures, other, for example, 6 students will, they're 7-year-olds, for example, they will jump, they will do something. And it will be kind of waste of time, their time. And that's why sometimes it's better to switch and explain once in Russian than to waste 20 minutes showing and explaining one thing to one student, for example. Because others will suffer somehow, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Elena. Anyone else?
Yes, it's obvious when we trying to use English as much as possible, because we have a lot of tools to do this, flashcards, videos, TPRs, yes, miming. But when it's an abstract thing and you see these big eyes from the students, yes, in order to save time, you can explain something in Russian or give a situation, right? Like a legend before giving this term or after showing the picture. Why not?
Okay,
I agree.
So thanks everyone. Now I will share my ideas about this. So first of all, we all need to remember that we have to use English. Yes, so we teach English and we speak English. But at our first lesson, we have to set some rules. And I usually do it in Russian. So we sit together with my students, and I ask them in Russian what we mustn't do at the lesson, yes, and what we can do. And they give me their ideas. So we make like a list of rules. And of course, it is in Russian because they can't express their ideas in English yet. And they need to understand the rules. So for the first lesson and for the rules, that's okay. Then sometimes I explain how to do some tasks in workbooks, because if they come home and they don't know how to do these tasks, they go to their moms and they say, Mom, I don't understand how to do this. Mom doesn't know English. Mom goes to dad. Dad can't help. Dad is angry. He pays money. And then they come to studio, to our managers, and to us. And here we have this whole big family who doesn't know English situation. So in order not to have this, we need to explain students how to do some tasks in Russian at the first lesson.
Mhm.
Not all the tasks, yes, but some tricky ones. Okay. Then, if you want your students to speak English, you need to invent a system how to motivate them, because it's not their language. They don't know it. Why should they use it? So try to think how to motivate them. Well, I know that some teachers use these stars or hearts, like in a game. They draw them on the board, and when students speak Russian or behave badly, they start erasing these hearts. Well, sometimes it works, why not? So it's up to you, but you need to remember that your system should be logical. So if students understand why you do this, why you erase their lives, they may be motivated to speak English. So be careful with this. Okay, the next, you need to teach students some phrases which they may use to ask for unknown words, unknown phrases. So sometimes it happens when student wants to leave the classroom to go to the toilet. So you have to say how to so how you need to teach the student how to say this, yeah? Or if the student needs only one word, you can bring this phrase like, what's the English for something, yes? If they know these phrases, it's easier for you, yes? So they don't punish them for speaking Russian. Then of course, you may use Russian if you used other means like demonstration, gestures, pictures, like Yelena told us, yes? But if students don't understand you still, it is your problem because you do something wrong. So if demonstration doesn't help, pictures don't help, gestures don't help, you do something wrong. You need to rethink how to explain your students. Then, of course, if you want to motivate students to speak English, you need to play games which require speaking English. So it's not just about having fun, it's about learning, yes? Well, we have lots of games in our offices. For example, Jenga. Yes, Jenga is a great game, but originally people play it without speaking, yes, so they just take out these bricks. But we need to create the learning atmosphere, and we can ask them to make sentences, for example, with I like or I don't like structure, yes, or we can put the cards with colors, yes, and one by one we take out the bricks and say, oh, it's yellow, and we take out the brick, oh, it's green, and so on. So even simple things can be transferred in a game, yes, and in this game students will speak. So, and of course you need to praise your students for using English. So lots of phrases, lots of gestures. So always praise your students. Say, great job, fantastic, good, great, clap your hands. I don't know, this high five gesture. So your students need to understand that if they use English, you are happy of this. And if they see it, they want to produce more English. So this was about the first problem. Do you have any other ideas?
Yes, I would like to add one more for your first point. About the first lesson, I would suggest to introduce their course books, even in Russian. Yes, when you ask them to look at their books, look what color they look, they're blue. Look, we have 4 friends on this book. This is a W book, workbook, blah, 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 something in your style, right? Why you have 3 books in 1 notebook, yes? And so you explain how we use them during the lessons and at home. I think it's also a great idea.
Yes, Natasha, thank you. I always do this, but and now I need to implement this in presentation. Okay, anyone else?
I used the system with kind of lives on the board the last year, and I also encouraged my students to do their work fast and and hopefully correctly, because when my student finished his or her work first and the work was all right, everything was correct, I called them extra lives. So I gave them extra lives so that they could get this bonus stamp that they really wanted to have.
Okay, thanks, Katya. Anyone else?
Sometimes we can use this quick paper with a sad face, but sometimes it doesn't work when students get older. They just don't believe in this sad face, and they even trying to draw their faces on this kind of paper and continue speaking L1. So you need to be more creative.
I love this
system,
right. Yeah, but unfortunately, it doesn't work with Super Minds 5. Yeah, because mature. But still, they can't speak English at this level. So you need to motivate them in another way. But sad face, sad smile works perfectly with SM1.
Yes, because they're still gullible and they believe in every word you say. If you are really fair and logical, yes, in all of your actions, they are really into doing everything, like repeating every gesture after you. Yes, I believe.
Okay, so let's move on then to the second problem. It is about instructions. So students don't understand my instructions, what to do with this. So again, let's have 5-minute talk in breakout rooms. So discuss with each other what you think about this. Let's go.
Lena, I can't do this.
Yes.
I don't have invitation.
Do you have it now?
Not yet.
And now? Okay.
No.
No?
Yeah, you can try, Lena Govetsky, you can try to move Lena to another breakout room.
Fine.
How it is. And if you don't mind, I'll stay there, okay?
Okay.
Lena, I'll try to help.
Okay, thank you.
So, did you have?
Ekaterina, invite me.
Yeah, to room 5.
Room 5.
That's right.
Okay, let's wait for the others to come back. So, did you have any interesting thoughts about this question?
No, interesting, just clear.
Yes, I think.
Short instructions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're very interesting, but
Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah.
Yes, we came to the conclusion that our short and clear instructions should be supported always with our gestures, clear gestures or miming or facial expressions, as well as demonstration of something, maybe with strong students, or maybe using some puppets even, and with a supportive voice of the teacher. Yes, when you want to praise them, you use like high level of your voice and you say, oh yes, well done, you too emotional. You stir students, you motivate them. When you wanted them to calm down, you lower your voice, you maybe even speak and whisper, and you use again gestures and something like this.
Thanks, Natasha. So let's see what I have on my slides. So first of all, I think you need to grade your language. So if you have C1 or C2 level, don't try to impress your students. They won't understand you anyway. Yes, so try to simplify it. Then, as Natalia told us, we need to use short instructions. Yes, because students will easily remember them, memorize them. Like listen, read, write, close your book, open your book, stand up, and so on. Yes, so the next one, use a lot of gestures because they are very helpful. Students don't understand these words, but they see your hands, your face, yes, your movement, and they understand what they have to do. Like when you invite them, yes, you can move your hand forward, yeah, so they understand they need to come up to you. When you want them to sit down, you can make this gesture, yes, to lower your hands. So that's easy. And again, yes, if you want them to be calm, you can use your finger to shush them. Then also, it's great to use instruction checking questions here when students can answer yes or no. So it's like, look and listen. Then you ask, listen, and they can say yes or no, and so on. So you need to understand whether they understand you. So try this. And you need to demonstrate a lot. So it concerns the tasks in our books, or maybe some other task that you want to do to them. For example, you can explain it, yes, on the board, maybe to write something. Then you can ask 2 students to come to you and demonstrate, act out a kind of dialogue, yes, and others watch them and they understand what to do, and then you can work with them as a whole class. Yeah. So these are my ideas. Anything else maybe? Who wants to add something about instructions? Everything was said. Okay. Then the next one, problem number 3 is about books and reading. So we all use books, but students can't read. They don't know the alphabet, they don't know letters, sounds, and so on. So how to work with our books if my students can't read? So again, maybe let's discuss this together. So let's go. To Lenas, you need to enter the breakout rooms. Yulia, Elena, Anna. Okay, so everyone is back. So what are your ideas about reading? Ulyan, maybe you will share your ideas.
So we decided that it's useful to start with phonics reading course. We'll start with learning the alphabet, differentiating letters and how to combine them, and then step by step learning how to read.
But well, look, even at the first pages in our books, we have short texts. Students can't read them, these texts. What to do?
So look, Lian, I can say about this, because this is like the usual question from every parent. Yes, in the first year, what should we do? We can't read in English, we don't understand English, blah blah blah. So it's like, again, to be patient and ask students to listen more and look, yes, at the same time. As we learn them at these first steps, we learn them to read the whole words, right? And what I always say to these parents, which are worried and like nervous, like, don't worry, you can't read, but when you listen and look at this word, you like photograph this, yes, words, and students got accustomed very fast, and they just remember the whole form of these words. And while they're trying to read in whole words, we, at the same time, we learn alphabet, yes, this phonics combinations, etc., and so on. And so we practice a lot, and then we have good results. After that, students start reading even these short stories. So listening is very important here.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I share my ideas? First of all, we pre-teach the necessary vocabulary and train it in speaking a lot so that they could remember. Then we listen, listen to the exercise, and they find these words and highlight them in the text. Secondly, we listen again, and they follow with their eyes and with their finger and try to speak together with the speaker. So in this way.
Okay, thank you, Anna. So let's then look at the slides, what I suggest. So of course, first of all, you need to teach students how to work with books and how to search for information in them. If we start, for example, with colors or numbers, we have these pictures in our book, so students need to know what page they're on. So when they have homework, for example, and they need to color the color words, you have to explain them where they can find this information. So I open my class book, I see this, and I can do my homework. Searching for information is very important. Then I always ask them to create mini dictionaries in their notebooks. It's like word and picture. So here is the example. They can color, they can make this blur, yes, blue blur, and write blue. So, and the same they do with all the words, numbers, and then school things, objects, and so on. So they have many dictionaries.
Lian, can I have a question?
Yes.
About mini dictionaries? Do you recommend them to do it at home or in the class?
We start in class because I want them to do it correctly. Yeah, and then I ask them to write these words and draw pictures if they want at home as a homework.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
So it's great because they really like drawing. So, and sometimes even parents help. Students bring notebooks with fantastic pictures, and they are very proud and say, look, my mom helped me to draw this cat and this lizard. Look at them, they're fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, and can I ask here again one more question to develop Tamara's question? So look, as far as I understand, yeah, so for example, in every one unit, we have got new words. For example, I don't know, toys in the unit 2, for example. Yeah, or 3, I don't remember. So at first, like first 2 units, like you work with them in the classroom. So they write down the words and draw a picture, right?
Yes.
And for example, during the next units, like when you start, I don't know, like a unit about the house and rooms. So do they do it at home as a part of their homework? So they don't write the words at the lesson itself, but they write them at home, right?
Yes. With house, they may not draw pictures because it's difficult. So they just write the words.
But at home, not in the classroom.
At home, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
can I add something? I would recommend you to use this mini dictionary in the end of workbooks, because when your students are in this 5th or 6th unit, they are quite confident to do this such activity individually, yes, by their own as a homework. Just ask them to open this page 120 something and to match the words with the pictures. Again, they really like this activity and they practice to connect these words and pictures together, and also they're practicing writing, yes, they're practicing spelling. So I really like this.
Yes, Natasha, we can use these pictures at the end of workbooks, like self-study ones, yes. But still, mini dictionaries are great because sometimes my students bring their old notebooks next year. For example, Superminds 2 can bring the notebook from the previous year, and they still have their information with colors, with toys, so they look for the words, how to spell them. But I can't imagine the situation when the student is bringing workbook. Yeah. So
yes, this is just an extra practice, which is easy, yes, to give, because sometimes students don't like drawing. Sometimes you should be aware of such situations and prepare some handouts, even, yes, like some print, maybe something before the lesson. Why not?
So if they don't like drawing, that's absolutely okay. They can just write the words. Okay, so the next one is about word cards and flashcards. And I'm absolutely convinced that picture-supported flashcards are better. So they see the image, they see the word, yeah, and they memorize it easily than just looking at the word. So this word doesn't mean anything. So you can say it several times, it's yellow, 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 but they won't memorize it. So they need this picture support. And that's great that we have flashcards with words on the other side. So if you don't have them, print, please. Then they can't read, but still they can arrange the letters. So you may show them the word card or the flashcard with the word and ask them to make the word using paper cards, yes, or tiles. And it looks like reading. So they look and they doing this puzzle and they memorize the letters and this whole word. So that's great. It's funny and interesting. Students love it. And it's a great practice. And also then you can spell the words, yeah, like pen, P-E-N, after finishing. And also, I really like practicing dialogues before doing the tasks in the book. So sometimes we have listening tasks when they need to look at the pictures and number them, yes, but they can't read all these phrases. because they don't know the alphabet yet. What can we do? So you need to practice the same phrases as much as possible, and they understand the context. So you just point then to the girl and you start what's, and your students understand that the next word is this. So, and they can read what's this, and then they can predict what the boy is asking. Yes, like, is it a? And then they here works this whole word recognition. They see pencil, so is it a pencil? And then they see the pen in his hands. So the girl answers, no, it isn't. If they know these phrases, it's very easy to do such tasks. So they practically read this stage. And another is like you need to demonstrate book pages on the smartboard or in the TV, whatever you have in your rooms. You need to always point and say the words. You may use the pointer or marker or pencil. Yes, you read sentences and follow the words, the lines with it. And students understand that they need to follow, they need to read. Then, as Natasha told us, listening is really great. So at this stage, they have to listen a lot. So we listen to new words, to new stories, songs, dialects, and we always look in the text. And we use a pencil or our fingers, yes, to follow the lines. Then someone was talking about coloring. I think it was Kate Morshneva. Coloring certain words in the songs. So that's great. They can't read, but still they recognize the words, and you can ask like color lizard in the text. So they scan this text and they find these words, and you can then ask how many lizards are there, how many words, yes? Then color favorite, or maybe draw hearts above it, yes? And then count how many words are there. It's funny. It's like a competition. Who is faster, who can find more words. And it helps then when they start reading. Also, when it comes to stories, we usually watch first and then discuss what happened. So I open this page and I point to each picture and I say, oh, here Thunder is lifting the table and his friends are happy. They say, wow, and so on. So we discuss every picture. Then we again listen and students look in their books. They don't watch the video this time. So they look at the phrases. They try to understand them. Yeah. Then you can play the audio again and to make some stops and ask students to repeat the phrases. So it's like, wow, you stop and all students, the whole class say, wow, and look at this phrase, this word in the text. So it's, in this way, they memorize this. So this was about books and reading. And anyone wants to add something?
Len, yeah, I must say that we also have some sight words in our offices. So, for example, for the phrase, what's your name? How old are you? We can use these flashcards with these words and play a variation of games. I said this to girls in breakout room. We have many ideas in our Oxford Phonics books in the first part, in the second as well. So I think we should use them also. And it's hard always to find the sentence that you need. So maybe I will put them I will create some order, let's say, how to make it easier. So girls, please use these sight words, okay? They are useful, I use them too, and as I can say from my experience, it helps.
Elin, are these cards or they're in PDF format?
No, they are cards, they like prints, следы, I forget this word.
Footprints.
Footprints, yes. And they can stamp on them and read the word. You can play missing game, what's missing, yeah. So something like this, it helps. Because they are flashcards, they are not in text.
Okay, thank you. Need to
Yeah.
look. So let's look at the next problem. It is about homework. So how to assign homework if students don't understand the tasks, they can't read the tasks, and parents can't help. So again, let's discuss this a bit. Go to the rooms. So, what are your ideas about this nightmare? Is homework a nightmare for your students?
Usually, no.
Why?
I mean, on the same levels. I did not really come across like big problems with homework. Sometimes there are tricky tasks, like you said, but basically, if there is, then it should be explained beforehand, as you've already mentioned.
Okay, so let's look at the slides. As I already mentioned, we need to explain how to do some tasks in Russian. Yes. So then again, we need to teach students how to search for information in books. Yes. And also they can find similar tasks in our students' books. And they can understand how to do them in workbooks. And then also they can find some grammar rules in these blue boxes, yeah, which can help them to finish some tasks. So working with books is great. Teach this. Then we need to ask all students to download audio to the books to listen at home, because listening is vital. It's very important. And if they can't find this audio, they come and say, I don't know how to do this. How to do it without audio? And I don't know. Okay, then don't let your students use translators. It's banned. Last year, I had a student, Superminds1, and her mom didn't know any English, and she always kept saying this. Of course, her little girl heard it. And well, I think she acquired this attitude. So she said, I don't understand this, I don't understand that, I don't understand everything. And it was very difficult for me to explain that if you don't understand something, that's absolutely okay. You don't need to use translator to translate everything. So if you just start trying, you will understand. Well, she stopped doing this, and well, she had no problems. But I was surprised how easily parents let her do this, let her use the translators. Why they don't understand that it is banned? What about you? Do your students use translators?
I think most of them know, but sometimes I notice just such situations when students skip the lessons and they're trying to do homework as fast as possible, and they read their homework texts, for example, about their favorite toys, and you can notice that they use translators because sometimes there are some funny phrases. And you just, yeah.
So, actually, I don't ban them using translators, and I even don't mention their existence before I catch somebody doing it. I usually tell about online dictionaries, and I usually demonstrate them: Cambridge Dictionary, Longman Dictionary, show and teach them how to use it. But when it comes for the first tutor to use the translator, I always focus on it. I show that it's easily recognized and I can catch it from the first sight. And I don't punish them for this, but I show how did I understand it. Like, it's okay, the translator helped you, but what did you learn from it? Do you know this word? Do you know this word? They usually say, And other students
maybe not from the first sight, but from the second or third situation, they catch that it's useless.
Well, I usually catch these cheaters at Supermind's free level when they have to write text about extinct animals. I really love this task. I love reading and listening about some mollusks who lived in a certain period. And so they just took this information from Wikipedia, yes, and they translated it, and it's so fun. I really love this. And I ask them, what is this? What is that? They can't translate, so they understand that they shouldn't do this.
Yes, and I agree that such funny situations happens only with higher levels because they may be browsing the internet a lot, and sometimes even the level of the language is very high. They can't even pronounce this words that they're going to read, and it's such funny. And I'll try to show them what's this word? I don't know this word. Where did you find it? Oh, I don't know. Mommy helps me. Okay, just like funny, and it's obvious. Just
okay.
By the way, it can be the place where you can teach them how to learn the pronunciation of the words. If they pick a new word from a dictionary, here we can show them that there is a speaker button in online dictionary, and they can listen and then push them to use it. To if they bring a new word to a class, they have to pronounce it correctly or not say it all.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I recommend something to translate the separate words? So if they don't understand one word in the sentence, and it's crucial in them to understand the meaning, what can they use?
Well, as Kate said, we can recommend some Cambridge dictionaries. We can recommend Lingua.
But it gives the English.
No, Cambridge gives English Russian translate.
Yes. Okay. I forgot about it.
Okay, so the next one, again, about cheaters. So don't let them cheat and copy other students' answers. So it can be at the lesson or before the lesson. So if they're not ready, they didn't have time to finish homework, they sometimes start cheating. And here you need to explain them that there is no good in it. So it's better not to be prepared and to finish the same task later than to cheat. So there is no use in this. And of course, you can ask them to do exercises at Cambridge LMS because it's fun, it's useful, it's better than other games like Minecraft or others. So they practice English there, and they're in the form of games. Yes, so they understand how to do them, and it becomes easier to work with homework. So this was about homework. Then let's move to the fifth problem. It is about tests and dictations. So the problem is, do we have to write tests or dictations? And if yes, so how to do it better? Let's discuss this again in the rooms. So nearly everyone is back. So I heard some great ideas how to write dictation. So maybe Tamara will share. Tamara, could you share your ideas about dictations, running dictations?
Yeah, I said that the best idea, yes, to test our students is to use running dictation so they can work together in group, so they can help each other. Yes, like if we divide them into two teams, yes, and there are some students who spell the words and the others write the words. Yes, and then when they're finished, they can swap the roles. Yes, and they can check each other, yes, or even they can check yes, the other team's results, yeah, and so they can use the flashcards with the words, not with the pictures. And as for tests, we also can try to do them together. I mean, maybe the test after the first and second unit. So we read together, yes, we repeat everything, and also they can do it in groups where there is one the smartest student, yes, who can delegate, who can help, yes. So I think first 3 months they should do everything with your help and with the help of each other.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree that we need to have some funny dictations. And so this is my example. They can copy the words from the book. So you put 1 or 2 books in front of them on the desk. So they can write on the board or on the sheets of paper, which are just to the board. So they come to the book, they run to the book, they look at the word, and they write this word. You can dictate or show flashcards, but they have to find the word in the book. Then another is arranging the letters. So I already told this. Then spelling the words. It also can be in 2 variants, like teacher says and students spell the words, or students work together in pair. So one student spells and another writes on the board. So like this. Then unit tests and progress tests we can do together as a whole class activity, like extra tasks, or we can give them as an individual work. Sometimes if the students are very weak, we can ask them to use books. So the books are allowed in this way. Review tests and final tests are much more complicated. And here it's only individual work, or we don't let our students to use books. And we have to brush up the material before writing. So maybe the previous lesson or the beginning of this lesson, we need to give them some help for this. So this was about tests and dictations. And the last problem is about tasks. Sometimes teachers think that our books don't have enough material and they start looking for extra worksheets, some crosswords and other things. So what do you think? And sometimes they try to invent some stirrers. So what about you? What do you think? Do we need more tasks or we have enough? So let's discuss this idea. Okay, so what ideas have you discussed? Katya Yakovleva, can you share, please?
Well, first of all, we decided that the answers are quite obvious because everyone uses some extra materials and we can play lots of games from our online resources such as Word Wall, Bamboozle, and so on. We can also take some extra activities on vocabulary, on grammar from One Stop English, from ESL, printables, and so on. So yeah, of course, we need some extra resources. Why not?
Okay, Katya Ulkhanen, what about you? What do you think?
Oh, well, yes, we stopped at the point basically that we all use some extra materials during our classes, and I shared with our new colleagues, if I'm not mistaken, the resources where they can take these extra tasks from, like our word wall, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. So let's look at the first slide then. So what I think, that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and our book has a lot of material. Of course, we can add some extra tasks, yes, but try not to teach only with these extras, because sometimes when I was observing the lessons, I saw the moments when the teacher was maybe scared of the book. Yeah, the teacher didn't understand how to work with this course book and tried to make her own syllabus. Yeah, so try not to do this. And I also remember the moment when we just started using Superminds and we had only a workbook and students book, and it was a horrible time. At that time, we had to reinvent the wheel, and try to adjust all the tasks to our students' needs. Yeah, and I had to copy a lot of other books to give some handouts and so on. So that time was awful. And now we have teacher's resource book, we have word wall, we have grammar book. Grammar book is great. We didn't have it some time ago. Then, so try to use all books, and of course you can add some materials, but try not to overdo this. Then, how can we transfer some exercises in stirrers? For example, we have this short chant in our book, yes. What can we do? They can't read it, but still they know the phrases, what's your name? They know the names of these characters in the book, and we can give them the cards and ask them to sing along. Yes, to practice these constructions. Then they change cards and again they sing. So they move, they sing, and it's funny. It's like TPR. Then we need to act out dialogues. Don't skip these activities from your books. They are great. Then we can role play stories. Sometimes I see that teachers just show the videos and then students read the story one time and that's it. So finished, let's do another task. No, you need to spend more time on these stories. You can role play them. So one student is Misty, another is Flash, another is Cat, and so on. And everyone wants to be a cat, so you have to read it several times, and they memorize these phrases, the words, they recognize them. So don't skip the stories, work more on them. Then, of course, you can show some videos, sing and dance. That also stirs your students. and they want to sing along. They like these bright videos. They move, so don't skip this. Also, you can add some videos. So this was about stirrers and some extra activities from our books. If you want to add something, you are welcome. And if you have questions, also ask, please.
Yes, can I add something to the previous block of our discussion about tests and dictations? So I have like 2 tips how to lead these dictations in a funny way. So the first one is when you want to teach students to spell the words correctly. At their first steps, it's really difficult to spell the whole words. Sometimes you can just write the words on the board or on their worksheets with some missing letters, right? And students just write the missing letters only. 1, 2, or maximum 3 missing letters. They give them the confidence that they are able to write these abstract symbols. Another tip is when you want to do a dictation, it can be a kind of individual work, but with a little bit running. Some students are really fast and clever, and they have time and this ability to remember all the words. And when they show them the picture and ask them to write this word, they do it very fast. But some of them are still struggling. What you can do? You can allow them just to stand up every time if they don't remember some of the words or letters, and come to these flashcards on the floor, turn them over, look, and come back to their places and write this word again. Look, how many times you think they are going to look at these words during these dictations? Minimum 3, believe me. Some of them just practicing these words better than they can do this at home. So use this tip just in order to practice new vocabulary.
Thank you, Natalia.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, anyone else? So we have a question in the chat box, I think. Mini dictionaries, are the notebooks we give them as a part of the course book set, or they have to make a separate one? So, well, we give them notebooks, yes, and they write in them. So it's part of the set. Well, if they don't buy them, they can bring their own ones. So, no questions then, yeah? Thank you for participation, for active participation, for your questions, for ideas, and I hope this session is help. And so let's finish it then.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you,
Have a nice
Liam.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It was